let's talk about emotions. Because right now, fear is high, confidence is low, and many people are getting shaken out. And this is without understanding where price actually is. Bitcoin has already hit major bear targets. Ethereum is sitting inside a critical demand zone. And there's also one specific trade setup I'm watching very closely that I'll break down for you today, but we'll get into that later in the video. Nothing here is rushed. Nothing is guessed. This video is about understanding. Understanding where real demand is. Understanding where real risk is as well. And that's actually what matters next. This is Bitcoin on Point, where I break down the market exactly as it is in real time so you can navigate the chaos. In this video, you're going to see why Bitcoin hitting its first bearish target doesn't automatically mean collapse, and how the daily structure is setting up a very specific reaction, and also how Ethereum is lining up a clean, planned trade. If you want calm, structured breakdowns instead of panic-driven noise, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. It tells me you want more of these real, no emotion market readings. Now, before we go deeper into the charts, let's talk about what's happening in the background. Because as always, this matters more than what most people realize. Circle just minted another $750 million worth of USDC on Solana. Guys, this is a retail activity. This is liquidity being prepared. This is capital positioning. And whilst that's going on, at the same time, a White House reporter confirmed that progress was made today in advancing the crypto market structure bill. These developments should not go under the radar. On top of that, the president of the United States has publicly said, "I'm a big crypto person. I believe in it." This is massive, not because it means price has to go up today or tomorrow, but because whilst the market is emotional, policy clarity is accelerating, stablecoin liquidity is expanding, and crypto is no longer being pushed to the sidelines. So again, price can still move lower. Volatility can and most likely will continue to shake people out. But structurally, this tells us something very clear. Crypto is being integrated, not abandoned. And that's why today, just like always, we let the price and structure lead, and we don't trade emotions or headlines. Now, let's start with Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. And we can clearly see the bear targets marked on the chart. The first target was roughly between 74 and 80K, and that's already been hit. Now, this happened because we broke down of a bearish structure. So the question actually is, do we move towards the second bearish target? But here's the important part. The area between the first and second bear targets is actually very bullish structurally. And here's why. It's because the demand zone, or the demand in that zone, is extremely high. Price consolidated for a long time in the past around this same area, and the higher time frame trend line also intersects near the second bearish target. So this tells us something important. If price ever moves towards the second target, it won't be a free fall. This is real intentional demand that's sitting here, right? This wasn't a news-driven pump in the past. It was accumulation. Now, with that in mind, let's move on to the daily structure. Bitcoin broke down from the $90,000 level, right? And it created a clear bearish order block, slash supply zone. And from there, price did sell off aggressively. And that's how we've nearly tagged 74K. But what's actually interesting is for the last 2 days, Bitcoin has been holding and sustaining this area. And whenever Bitcoin does hold a level like this, a reaction move usually follows. So if Bitcoin holds this range and pushes back up into the bearish order block, the 74K is an area that becomes support moving forward. It's not a trend reversal, but it's definitely a structural support block if we see an uptick. So from the bearish order block, if it runs up into it, there's two scenarios that exist. If price does close above 98K, we get a real higher time frame shift where bullish momentum is kicking in. The second scenario is if price rejects from the order block, the current low becomes a weak low and price can move back down to take it. So that's why this level matters so much on the daily. Now, let's take the daily story and see how it plays out on the 4-hour, because Bitcoin is currently consolidating, absorbing certain orders, and building liquidity in this zone. Now, after consolidation, price typically manipulates either up or down, but before actually showing its true direction, right? So the 76K level is acting as a key zone. And from here, price can either consolidate, dip into manipulation, and then distribute towards 83K. And the only reason I suggest it, but because we're in a bearish market structure, expecting a full reversal here would be guesswork. And we don't guess, we simply react. Now, let's move on to Ethereum on the daily, because Ethereum has quietly fallen into a very strong demand zone. And this is a level that previously supported bullish continuation. So because of that, a retracement upward here is very likely. However, for Ethereum to turn bullish again, we do need to see one thing, and that's simply a daily close above 3.4K. Without that, the market remains bearish, unfortunately. Now, the broken supply zone sits between $2.8 to $3,000, and if sellers are in control, price is likely to stall around 3.2K and roll over again. So this is where the trade planning comes in, right? And with that in mind, let's take a look at the trade idea for today. And this is Ethereum's 4-hour time frame, and I've mapped a Fibonacci from the swing high to the low, and my entry sits at the 61% golden ratio. Now, this perfectly aligns with the daily supply zone. So the plan here is, if we enter the Fibonacci 61%, the 0618, we have a stop loss above at 3K, and the target is back down into the current demand zone. So this is planned at the moment. It's not reactive. If price taps the level and confirms the structure, I take the trade, right? But if it doesn't, I do nothing. I wait. All executions are shared live in my free Telegram. And now for a quick trading challenge update. This is my $10,000 to $100,000 challenge. No hindsight, no hidden trades. Every position is tracked using Profit Precision and executed on Weeks Exchange. Profit Precision, guys, it lets you see the exact entries, the risk to reward ratio, and all of the performance stats. Weeks is where I execute because of liquidity and execution reliability, and all updates happen live in my Telegram. So if this breakdown has helped you, make sure you like the video, subscribe, smash the alarm bell. It really supports the channel. Share it with your trader friends. Share it with people who actually respect market structure and don't just listen to the headlines. Drop a comment with what you also think happens next. If you do want these real-time updates regularly, join the free Telegram. Everything I use is linked below. You are missing out if not. Stay objective, stay patient, and I'll see you in the next update.